So hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a different kind of reading that I wanted to do today. I really wanted to kind of explore the darkness. I wanted to explore what gifts winter brings to us by being so kind of like dark and cold and wet and windy, right? Because there is definitely something about this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere, or whenever it is winter in your part of the world, there is something about its kind of pull to go inwards that I find fascinating and that I always have found fascinating. But this year in particular, I really wanted to explore how that darkness can be mirrored in the dark parts of us, i.e., the parts of us that we don't care to think about so often, that we don't care to dwell on, that we don't care to speak to other people about. Okay, so our jealousies, our insecurities, our self-sabotaging tendencies, the things that are not shiny and great, right? The things that are a little bit more challenging. Because if we always look at the great things, the amazing things, how are we truly going to like grow if we're only focused on one part of ourselves? Okay, growth also happens in the darkness, you know. I was talking about my windowsill garden in another video and about how many of the herbs have continued to really flourish even though we're hardly getting any sunlight, even though it is damp, it feels like, even though it is, you know, not that burst of sunlit summer that we equate to growth. So growth also happens in the dark. And so today we are doing a winter tarot reading where we're going to be looking at 3 things. Now, I did have these 3 things written down and I forgot to bring them to the actual video. I've got them in a bag somewhere, so hopefully I will remember them. So this is kind of a reading in advance of the winter solstice. So I think I've done a winter solstice reading most years. So this isn't a winter solstice reading per se, but it kind of is as well. I might do another one, I might not. I'm calling this a winter reading. And we're going to be focusing on 3 things, as I said. Those 3 things are, first question will be, what is it that you don't want to face? So what is it that is hidden from you at this time? The second question will be, how can you face it? And then the third question will be, what benefits do you get from not facing it? Because let's be real, sometimes not looking at something gives us a payoff. And so I want to legitimately look at that payoff and look at why you may want to, in some circumstances, keep it to yourself. I hope that makes sense. As I go through and do the reading, I'm sure it'll make a lot more sense. I have my cup of tea here, and I'm gonna pick the Hoodoo Tarot. I also have the Rider-Waite-Smith here, which may get used if I feel called to. But we're gonna start off with the Hoodoo Tarot, which is, you know, a deck that doesn't shy away from looking at our shadow sides, okay? So what do we need to see for that first question here in this winter reading? What is it that we are hiding from? What is it that we do not want to face at this time? Those of us called to this video, what is it that we are hiding from? What is it that we do not want to face at this time? The first card we have is the Father of Coins. So this is a card that is all about abundance. It's all about like money, basically. Okay, you can see on the table there, he has all the kind of things he needs for an abundant life. So this is talking to us about our security. We may have problems with our security. We may have problems with our financial life, and we're not wanting to look at it. We're not wanting to look at how important it is to stabilize ourselves before we move forward into next phases of our life. So this tells me that for those of us who this resonates for, the reading is bringing forth your money worries, your issues about stability. It may not just be money, it could be commitments, it could be things like housing. All the things that make up a stable life, partnerships, housing, money, enough resources is being drawn to your attention at this time, and we are being asked, okay, have you got enough? Do you know how to get enough? Can you prosper, go past enough into thriving, right? Are you surviving? Are you thriving? Do you want to be thriving if you are just surviving? If you're not surviving, how can you get yourself into a better financial position, okay? So the things that we have hidden from ourselves, or the things that we do not want to face from ourselves, that winter is dragging up, is your stability, okay? I'm going to pull another card. What else do we need to see for what we are hiding from at this time? What else do we need to see about what we are hiding from at this time? We have the Nine of Knives. So this is a card all about worry. In the Rider-Waite Tarot, it's a person kind of sat up in bed with like knives, swords coming down towards their head. So massive amounts of anxiety, because that's the way it is when we have debt or when we have not got stability. It's kind of like there is this kind of ever-present low hum of worry. And that worry is really draining. It can really sap your energy. And sometimes that worry is worse simply because we don't want to face something, you know? It's kind of like if you faced it and dealt with it, it would be less worrying, less cumbersome on your brain. But by trying to hide to it, you know, hide from it, conversely, sometimes it makes the problem worse. The thing with the Nine of Swords, though, however, is that it reminds us that actually things are never as bad as they seem in our head. You know, when you wake up at 4 in the morning and you're stressing about something, if you go back to sleep and you wake up at 10, it's never going to feel as bad as it felt in the middle of the night. Okay? And there is something about that, because the winter is that, you know, metaphorical night. So there is something here about come spring, come summer, as the year advances in 2026, you can dig yourself out of, or create more stability for yourself, right? Dig yourself out of any holes you may feel like you're in, or build more stability into your life, right? As the year moves on. So it's always darkest before the dawn, I'm hearing that phrase. It's kind of like, yes, there are worries here about your stability, but next year can be a year that you really work on that. And by this time next year, you can be in a completely different position, okay? I'm just going to pull one more card here for what it is that you are hiding from, what it is that you do not want to face. One more card here for what it is you are hiding from, what it is that you don't want to face. One more card for what it is that you're hiding from. Ooh. Oh, it's on the floor. I thought I was going to get it. Bear with. 10 of Knives. Now, this is a scary card. You can see there's kind of like a skeleton. Let's try and get right up close there. Crawling out, yeah, of a church. I imagine that to be, yeah, a church. You can tell by the arch there. So the 10 of Knives is a continuation on from the 9 of Knives, but the way that the 10 of Knives differs is that this is the end. You see how they're crawling themselves out of a church? Salvation, okay? Things are going to get better. It will take a lot of hard work from you, but you will make it, right? This person has made it. Yes, they're not in the best shape. But they've made it. They got to a place of safety. They may be crawling out to the next phase of their life, but they've made it. And that's what I'm feeling for you. It's like, okay, you want greater stability in your life. You want greater stability in your finances. You want to be able to grow some savings or pay off some debt. You want to own a house or just have your own place to rent. You want to have a long-lasting commitment, a long-lasting relationship. You're on your way there. You're going to get there, but it's almost as though you're getting there by the skin of your teeth. So there's this energy of like, I'm getting there by the skin of my teeth. And that's kind of why you don't want to look at it. Because you're like, I don't want to face how hard it's been for me to get there. Because what I'm feeling for you guys is that you're not on the start of your journey. Whoever's called to this reading, whoever's this resonating for, you're not at the start of your journey. You're not so deep down in the gutter. Sorry for anyone that is deep down in the gutter. but you're not so down in the dumps that getting to a better place is really far away. You're actually way closer to the better place than you think, but it's been a long, hard slog to get there. You're terrified, you're scared, you're worried, and that's why you don't want to look. But if you just have a little peek, you will see that you're closer than you think. The hard times are almost over. The 10s are the end. You will make it. And stability lies ahead. I promise you. Ooh, I shouldn't promise. Disclaimer, everything I say in these videos is my own opinion and for entertainment purposes only. But it is motivation and it is inspiration and it is asking you to sit in that energy of you've made it, right? Sit in that manifesting energy of I've done it, I've made it, I've got this. And that will help you to really get there, okay? So that was the first question. Now we know what you're hiding from, and you're hiding from your fears of stability, that's interesting, your fears of instability. For some of you, it will be your fears of stability. For some of you, you are incredibly stable and that freaks you out, okay? So let's see what side you sit on. Some of you are a bit afraid of commitment and you're becoming more and more stable and you're like, oh my goodness, is this my life now? This is a little bit boring. Stability here, either the lack of or the newness of having it, is messing with you a little bit. So look at that, because as we just saw, you're almost there. You're almost at a really good place, a really grounded place, a really abundant place. So allow yourself to get there. Next question I already have the card for is, how can you face this? How can you continue on your journey to stability? How can you acknowledge the areas you need to work on? How can you face this? First card is the free man. Love it. The Fool. He is free. The first step is in aligning yourself with this energy of freedom. It is telling yourself time and time again that you are an autonomous spirit in a human body that is able to get the things that you want to get in life. You have the power, okay? You have the ability. And the free man lets you know that new beginnings are on their way. Like I said, for this cohort watching this video, you're way closer to this than you think. And the free man lets you know that this new beginning, this 0 after the 10, right? This new beginning awaits. So the free man can also take a few risks. The free man can also be a little bit like, not worry about the details. And there's something about this here. There's something about this expansion here. There's something about in facing your fears around stability, if you say to yourself, if you fake it a little bit before you make it, that will really help things. That will really help you to face this worry of yours. You know you're going to get there. So kind of act as if. Start planning for your future. Start planning for when you have more abundance, because it truly is on its way to you. So how else can you face this fear, these issues with your stability? Oh, so many came then, but we just need one at this time. How else can you face these issues, these fears around instability or real instability? Gorgeous. We have Ace of Baskets, another card that assures us that good things are on their way. Right? You may know that actually, even though your situation looks a little bit dire right now, you've been doing the work and you know that next year things are going to get better. You may already know this. This Ace of Cups is also calling for you to release any stuck emotions around this lack of stability. To help prepare yourself for better times, you need to acknowledge what you've been through, where you are now, and let it out. So crying is always something that comes up when I get the Ace of Baskets or the Ace of Cups. Doing yoga is something like that helps your body to move through emotions, any kind of energy movement, walking, anything like that. Try to release these stuck emotions about what you haven't had in the past to allow what's coming in to, settle into your psyche more comfortably. Because like I've said a few times, I feel like this reading is for people who know that things are about to get better. You've had issues with stability in the past. things are actually looking up, and sometimes that's scary in itself. And sometimes it's hard for us to make that switch between like dire straits or poverty, whether that's mental, physical, spiritual, into greater abundance. So clear out that old residue stress to allow for the new. And one more card for how you can face the things that you're afraid of, how you can face this call for greater stability. Seven of Sticks, which is the Seven of Wands, came out in the reverse. So this talks to me in the reverse of letting your community help you. So in the upright, it's very much about keeping your boundaries in place. There is still something here about boundaries, right? About keeping your boundaries in place where they need to be, but also about letting in your community, letting in the people that are there for you, letting in the people that care for you and that want the best for you, because they will help you through this time of greater growth and abundance. Okay, that's how you can face this call to stability. Let me take a sip of my tea before I look at the last question. So the last question is, what benefits are you getting from not facing this call to stability? So you know, whoever's watching this, if this resonates with you, you know that this has been something in the back of your mind for a long time. Building on stability, creating more stability. We've looked at the ways in which you can do that, right? Realising you're closer than you think, releasing the old so you can welcome in the new. But what benefit do you get from not facing it? This is true shadow side stuff here. By not facing that call to stability, because at the end of the day, we all have free will, right? You can choose to ignore this video, you can choose to ignore your own whisperings. If you do that, what benefits do you get? The Moon card, Pa. If you do that, you get to remain inactive, you get to remain passive, you get to stay where you are at, and there's a comfort in that. There's a comfort in staying in our comfort zone. If you choose not to move with this call to create more stability, yep, things might not get any worse, but things won't get any better. You'll just be stuck. So think about that. It's your choice, right? It really is. As a tarot reader, I'm just here to read the energies, right? To inspire those who need it. But of course, there's going to be many people who watch the video and just think, well, I'm not doing that. That doesn't relate to me. And nothing's going to happen to you. You're not going to get struck down by lightning. But you may not grow. So it's asking you, do you want to grow? Right? Another card for what will happen if you don't heed that call. We have the Nine of Sticks. Nine of Wands in traditional tarot. This is defensiveness. If you don't allow yourself to grow, move forward, become better, you will start to build up walls between you and your community. You will start to become defensive. You will start to feel trapped. You will start to believe that everyone is out to get you. So move with the flow, the current, the change. Allow yourself to become better. Otherwise, you may lose some people around you simply because you remain stuck. Okay? And one more card for what will happen if you do not face this, right? What benefit will you get from not facing this? Although I'm beginning to realise that these benefits are kind of like double-edged swords, right? They're not really benefits. John Horse, it is the 4 number, but this is the Emperor card. Very interesting energy. The benefit you'll get from not heeding this call, yes, you get to stay in your comfort zone. You're comfortable building a few walls around you. You'll feel safe in that. You will feel a measure of stability in that because nothing's changing, but it's stagnancy. The Fours are all about stability, and the shadow side, stagnancy. The Emperor is all about taking control of your life, and the shadow side, being stubborn. So if you choose not to heed this call, you'll be sitting in your stubbornness, lacking community, but you may feel comfortable with that because sometimes not changing feels more comfortable to us, right? But you are being called by this reading, by me unearthing what it is that you've been hiding from yourself, for me unearthing the deeper, more shadow parts of you, right? The parts of you that are calling for more stability, the parts of you that are calling for more abundance. If you ignore those parts of you, you get to stay where you are. And for some of you, that may be right for you right now. For some of you, the comfort of being where you are may be all you can manage right now. For the rest of you, unearthing this in this video is positive affirmation that more abundance is on its way. It's calling you to meet it. It's calling you to be open to it. It's calling you to make space in your life for it. It's calling you to act as if. It's saying that in the deepest, darkest moments of winter, we can still grow, and that next year, if you allow yourself to, can be a very abundant year. So don't hide from anything that needs looking at, anything practical that needs looking at in terms of money, resources, housing, anything like that. Get on your feet, get back on your feet, commit to getting back on your feet, right? For those of you who I think is probably the majority, where you are on your feet, but you're wanting more, be okay with wanting more, start making plans for the more, and allow the more to come in, okay? I really hope this reading helped. I really enjoyed doing it. Lots and lots of love. Check me out on Instagram. I'm at Sagittarius Sun Tarot on Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I have a PayPal link, I think, as well, also, if you want to give me a donation. I don't make any money from any of the readings that I do online because I'm not a big enough channel. So if you'd like to donate, please donate. I hope you enjoyed this. You'll see me again either in a short daily reading or another long form reading if I do another one before Christmas. Lots of love.